Vishnu
Recording in
Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamine Namine
Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaurabhakta Vrinda
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare प्रभु श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की और प्रेमानंद।
हरि हरि बोल। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमं सपरिव्रजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सुत श्री श्रीमद देसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमं सपरिव्रजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सुत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधार श्री वासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपा गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। गंगा मई की जय। यमुना मई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, Hare Hare Bol. Om Vishnu Pada Krishna Padasaya Mantra. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Thank you again for coming to this Saturday program at Bensalem Cultural Center. I see some new faces I would like to recognize today. Imani Mataji's daughter and son, they are coming here for the first time, right? Yes. Correct? Haribol! Big Haribol today. What's your name? Daughter? Meera. Son? Veer. Veer and Meera Mataji. 3 times loudly Haribol again. Haribol! 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 Thank you. Anybody new here? Other than that? No. So, as you all know, we are into Srimad Bhagavatham series. Today we have our own congregational member, Sesapati Prabhu. So we would like to hear from him today. So many of you know him. I mean, of course, everyone knows him. But it's our customary to welcome him, show our gratitude. Sesapati Prabhu, please come here. He's one of the senior most devotee in our congregation. I personally know him for a long time, he and his family, and they both got initiated by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj about 3 years back. 2 years, 3 years? 3 years. Okay. So he is going to take us into Srimad Bhagavatam. Which verse? Anyone remembers? 19. Right? Get it right at the first shot. No guesses. Because we have been attending classes every week. 19? Yes, there you go. So, first canto, first chapter, 19th verse. Please, you can open your vedabase.io. Thank you. Hare Krishna. And you all remember, right? At the end of the session, we are going to have kids recitation. Prepared with that? Haribol. I heard Haribol. Thank you. So who wants to sing Jai Radha Madhava? Who is ready? Kids? Anybody? No volunteers? No volunteers? Come on. Prabhu, come. Everybody should learn this. This is the invocation prayer before we begin any study. Right? Thank you.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana
Yashodanandana Prajana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira Manuchari
Nadira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Jai Jai Radha Madhav ki Kunja Bihari ki Gaur Premanande
Hari Bol. I would like to take 2 more minutes of yours. Okay, because I see our a well-known congregation devotee, temple congregation devotee, they are here. So I would like to introduce them. Okay, they are here for the first time, and we are very, very grateful to them for coming to this Saturday program. Also, I see some 2 new devotees. I would like to introduce them too. So let's first begin with them. What is your name, Prabhu?
Sean.
Sean. Okay. Abby. Okay. Let's all welcome Sean and Abby. 3 times loudly, Haribol. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for coming. And I think they are working with Muktidatri Mataji. Thank you for getting them here.
It's so nice.
Yes. Thank you for having the association.
It's so simple. The fast quality of the devotees is so simple.
Very nice.
You also
Don't leave association of Muktidatri Mataji. Okay. You are in safe hands.
Yeah.
And of course, our good old friends Chaitanya Mahajan Prabhu, Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, and his whole family is here.
Haribol.
Loudly Haribol 3 times. They have wonderful kids. He plays very nice Mridangam. Actually, I missed his kirtan today. I would have had him play Mridangam. But anyways, next time. So let's all get into Srimad Bhagavatham 1.1.19. First canto, first chapter, 19th verse.
Hare Krishna, thank you for coming. So let's start with Premadwani prayers. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotara Siddhasri Srimati Divine Grace K.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotara Siddhasri Srimati Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai.
ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki
Jai.
प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की
Jai.
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की
Jai.
वृंदावन धाम की
जय।
मायापुर धाम की
जय।
मधुर धाम की
जय।
जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की
जय।
गंगा माई की
जय।
यमुना माई की
जय।
तुलसी देवी की
जय।
भक्ति देवी की
जय।
संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की
जय।
बृहद मृदंगा की
जय।
समवेत भक्त वृंद की
जय।
all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Sri Guru Gauranga ki. So today we are going to continue with our Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1. We are at chapter 1, verse 19. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निज नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. Let's recite. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 You have it open, right? Your verse 1.1.19. So, please recite after me. Vayam tu na vitrupyama
Vayam tu na vitrupyama
uttama sloka vikrame
uttama sloka vikrame
yatsrunvatam rasajnanam
yajsunvatam rasajnanam
swadu swadu pade pade.
swadu swadu pade pade.
Vayam tu na vitrupyama
Vayam tu na vitrupyana
uttama sloka vikrame
uttama sloka vikrame
yatsrunvatam rasajnanam
yajsunvatam rasajnanam
swadu swadu pade pade.
swadu swadu pade pade.
Vayam tu na vitrupyama
Vayam tu na vitrupyama
uttama sloka vikrame
uttama sloka vikrame
yatsrunvatam rasajnanam
yajsunvatam rasajnanam
swadu swadu pade pade.
swadu swadu pade pade.
Please recite.
Vayam tu na vitrupyama
Vayam tu na vitrupyama
uttama sloka vikrame
uttama sloka vikrame
yajsunvatam rasajnanam
yatsrunvatam rasajnanam
swadu swadu pade pade.
swadu swadu pade pade. Anyone else? Vayam tu na vitrupyama uttama sloka vikrame yatsrunvatam rasajnanam swadu swadu pade pade. Mataji. Vayam tu na vitrupyama uttama sloka vikrame yatsrunvatam rasajnanam swadu swadu pade pade. Anyone wants to?
Vayam tu na vitrupyama
Vayam tu na vitrupyama
uttama shloka vikrame
uttama sloka vikrame
yajsunvatam rasajnanam
yatsrunvatam rasajnanam
swadu swadu pade pade.
swadu swadu pade pade. Yeah, word for word. Synonyms and translation given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, please read after me. Vayam, we.
Vayam we.
Tu, but.
Tu but.
Na, not.
Na not.
Vitrupyamaha, shall be at rest.
Vitrupyamaha. shall be repressed.
Uttama Sloka. The personality of Godhead who is glorified by transcendental prayers.
The personality of Godhead who is glorified by transcendental prayer.
Vikrame.
Vikrame.
Adventures.
Adventures.
Yet.
Yet.
Which.
Which.
Srinvatam.
Srinvatam.
By continuous hearing.
By continuous hearing.
Rasa.
Rasa.
Humor.
Humor.
Jnanam.
Gnana.
Those who are conversant with.
Those who are conversant with.
Swadu.
Swadu.
Relishing.
Relishing.
Swadu.
Swadu.
Palatable.
Palatable.
Pade pade.
Pade pade.
At every step.
Every step.
Translation. Read after me. We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes
We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes
of the personality of Godhead,
of the personality of Godhead,
who is glorified by hymns and prayers.
who is glorified by hymns and prayers.
Those who have developed a taste for
Those who have developed a taste for
transcendental relationships with Him,
transcendental relationships with Him,
relish hearing of His pastimes
hearing of pastimes
at every moment.
at every moment.
Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There is a great difference between mundane stories, fiction or history and the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The histories of the whole universe contain references to the pastimes of the incarnations of the Lord. The Ramayana, the Mahabharata and the Puranas are histories of bygone ages, recorded in connection with the pastimes of the incarnations of the Lord, and therefore remain fresh even after repeated readings. For example, anyone may read Bhagavad Gita or the Srimad Bhagavatam repeatedly throughout his whole life and yet find in them new light of information. Mundane news is static, whereas transcendental news is dynamic, in as much as the spirit is dynamic and matter is static. Those who have developed a taste for understanding the transcendental subject matter are never tired of hearing such narrations. One is quickly satiated by mundane activities, but no one is satiated by transcendental or devotional activities. Uttama Sloka indicates that literature which is not meant for nescience. Mundane literature is in the mode of darkness or ignorance, whereas transcendental literature is quite different. Transcendental literature is above the mode of darkness, and its light becomes more luminous with progressive reading and realization of the transcendental subject matter. The so-called liberated persons are never satisfied by the repetition of the words Aham Brahmasmi. Such artificial realization of Brahman becomes hackneyed, and so to relish real pleasure they turn to the narrations of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are not so fortunate turn to altruism and worldly philanthropy. This means the Mayavada philosophy is mundane, whereas the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshuhu Unmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Smapadanti Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you all for coming here at this evening. So that means you are ready to spend some time for Krishna today. And before I speak, I would like to seek permission and blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas here. By the mercy of Vaishnavas, I have got this opportunity to speak today, even though I am not qualified. And I understand that this is completely for my purification. Okay, if I speak anything wrong, please forgive me. And I pray to Guru Parampara and Krishna that I'll speak in a right spirit, in a right manner. Thank you. So today, this is very wonderful verse. So to set the context of this verse, so this Bhagavatam started when after the Kali Yuga ended, when the Kali Yuga ended, all the sages headed by Saunaka Muni, they all gathered at one place called Naimisaranya in India. And they started performing yajna for 1,000 years to please the devotees, to please the Lord. Samsiddhim Haritoshanam. So they want to please the Lord. They started 1,000-year yajna at the Naimisaranya Kshetra. And later they gave highest asana to Suta Goswami, because he heard the Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami when Sukadeva Goswami broadcasted it to Parikshit Maharaj for 7 days and 7 nights. So they gave the highest asana to Suta Muni to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam from him. Then these sages headed by Saunaka Muni, they started asking questions to Suta Mahamuni. And they asked very wonderful questions, 6 questions. So we have been discussing about these questions for a while. And the first question they asked was Ekantaha Sreyaha. What is the ultimate good for whole humanity? Ekantaha Sreyaha. And then they asked the second question. Enatma Suprasidati. So there are so many scriptures. There are Vedas, there are Upanishads, there are Puranas, Agamas, Samhitas, so many are there. So they were asking, what is the essence of all these scriptures? And by which Enatma Suprasidati, the soul is completely satisfied. And then they posed third question. Devasya Vasudevakyam Jato Yachikishaya. So why did Krishna take birth from the womb of Mother Devaki? That was their third question. And then they asked the fourth question, Yasya Karmani Udharani. So the karma, the activities, the leelas of Krishna are Udharani, where they are very magnanimous. They were asking, could you please explain about his activities? That was their fourth question. And then they asked the fifth question. Hare Dhiman Avatara Kadaha. So who are his avatars? They asked that in the fifth question. So that was discussed in last week, and today's verse is continuation of that fifth question. Who are his avatars? Avatar of Krishna. And what is Krishna Kada? About Krishna Kada they were asking about. And then anyway, final question is going to come in the future verses. Then they are going to ask, Dharmam kam saranagataha. So after Krishna left this material world, after Krishna left to his own abode, where did Dharma take the shelter? That is going to be the last question of these 6 questions. So these are very wonderful questions. And today's verse is to the continuation of 5th question. And here, this verse starts with all the sages, they are saying, Vayam tu na vitrupyama. Trupti means satisfaction. So with na trupyama. So they are saying we are not at all satisfied. We are not satisfied. Uttama sloka vikrame. So the more we hear, the more we want to hear about the Krishna and his glorious activities. So they are saying we are not satisfied. So in Bhagavad Gita also, Arjuna also expressed the same thing in the 10th chapter. Does anyone remember that verse? Arjuna also expressed the same thing, where he says, Arjuna says, Vistarena Atmano Yogam Vibhutincha Janardhana. Bhuya Kalahi Truptihi Srunvata Nastime Amrutam. Bhuya Kalaya Truptihi. So I am not satisfied by hearing about you. So Krishna was explaining about his vibhutis and all those things. And he was saying, Arjuna said, I am not satisfied about hearing you. The more I hear, the most I want to taste the nectar of your words. Srinvata nastime amritam. That's what Arjuna was saying. The more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words, Krishna. Because we are never satisfied by hearing about Krishna. And the same thing in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we have the same thing. Machitta madhyata prana bodhayanta parasparam kalayantascha mamicham tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So the pure devotees of Krishna, they always converse about Krishna. Kalayantascha mamicham. They always talk about Krishna and they derive great pleasure out of it. They enjoy transcendental bliss. Tushyanti. Tushyanti means great pleasure. The great satisfaction they derive out of it by discussing about Krishna. And they enjoy the transcendental bliss. Ramanticha. So, and also in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj, he also expressed the same thing to Sukadeva Goswami, where he says, we know the Parikshit Maharaj story, and he says, I am at the edge of my death, and I have given up my thirst and my hunger and everything. And he says, Hare Tvam, Tvam Mukha Ambuja, Pibantam Tvam Mukha Ambuja Hare Khara Amrutam. He says, I am drinking, Pibitam, I am drinking the nectar of Hare Khara Amrutam from your lotus mouth. O Sukadeva Goswami, I am drinking the nectar of this Hare Khara, the narrations of Krishna from your mouth. Now I don't feel tired. So he was not at all taking water and food or everything, nothing. He was just hearing. Because that is the beauty of Krishna Katha. So where we never feel tired. That is the Krishna Katha Amrutam. That is the nectar of Krishna Katha. Actually, this is the position of pure devotees. So they want to hear more and more about Krishna. That is what these sages, they are expressing in this sloka. They are saying swadu swadu pare pare. Swada means aswadana. They want to relish. They want to relish at every step. Pare pare. So this is the position of pure devotees. And then question comes. So why is it so? Why Krishna Katha is so relishing? Why? So we should ask ourselves, why is it so? Maybe sometimes we are not relishing it. We will also discuss about it. Because this Krishna Katha is, here the Muni says, Uttama Sloka Vikrame, Uttama Sloka. So this Krishna Katha is Uttama. Uttama means, Tama means darkness. This material world. Tama is darkness, Anda, this Tama. And Uttama, Udgataha iti Tamaha. Which is beyond this darkness, which is beyond this material world is Uttama. So Krishna is Purushottama. And Uttama Sloka means his activities are described by the transcendental literature like Vedas and Itihasas, Puranas. So he is glorified by these transcendental literature. That is why Krishna is called as Uttama Sloka. So since Krishna is beyond this material world, so whoever is in this material world, we are all afflicted with three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamo guna, mode of goodness, mode of passion and mode of ignorance. But whereas Krishna is nirguna, and here Krishna Katha is also a nirguna, which is transcendental. So when we discuss about this Krishna Kada, we derive great pleasure out of it. So Krishna Kada, because we are all gathered here and we are discussing about Krishna Kada. So this is not an ordinary thing. So after discussing this, we derive some pleasure definitely. But whereas pure devotees, they derive great pleasure out of it. Because this Krishna Kada is transcendental. Whatever we speak about Krishna, it is transcendental. Krishna Kada means two things. Srila Prabhupada says, one is narration spoken by Krishna. That is Srimad Bhagavatham, where the Krishna's activities are described. Stories of Krishna. And another thing is narration spoken by Krishna. One is spoken about Krishna and another one is spoken by Krishna. It is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is also a Krishna Kada. So whenever we discuss this Krishna Kada, it is about this material world, it is like transcendental, so we derive great pleasure out of it. So that is the reason why they are expressing this, right? Swadu Swadu Pade Pade. We would like to hear these narrations of Krishna again and again. And also, wherever Krishna Kada is spoken, it is a Vaikuntha. Krishna also says in Padma Purana, Naham Tishtami Vaikunte, Yoginam Hridayeshva, Yatra Tishtami Atra Madhayanti Bhaktaha, Gayanti Madbhaktaha. Wherever my Kada is spoken, there I am. So I am not there in Vaikuntha, I am not there in the hearts of my yogis, but I am there where my Kada is spoken. So wherever Krishna Kada is spoken, that place becomes a Vaikuntha. So that's why we all derive great pleasure out of it. Because when we start discussing about Krishna, what happens? We immediately comes under the shelter of Daivi Prakriti. So Daivi Prakriti, divine nature, is Vladini potency of Krishna, Srimati Radharani. So we directly come under the shelter of Srimati Radharani, internal potency of Krishna. So then that's why we derive great pleasure out of it. So it's not a normal thing. And this Krishna Kada, what is the benefit for us again? We all look for some benefit because we are in this material world. We look for some benefit out of it, right? Because being afflicted with this material nature, we look benefit out of it. So, Srimad Bhagavatham says, Sravana Mangala Namadheyam. So, by hearing, it brings all auspiciousness to our life. By hearing Krishna Kada, Krishna name. And also in Gopi Gita, Gopis, they sing this wonderful song. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also likes it. When Pratap Maharaj, when he sang this verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately embraced him. They says, Tava Kadamrutam Tapta Jivanam. Tava Kadamrutam Tapta Jivanam. Kavibir Iditam Kalma Shapaham. Sravana Mangalam Srimadattatam Bhuvigrananti E Bhuri Bhurida Janaha. So they are saying Tava Kada Amrutam. Your Kada is nectar. Krishna Kada is nectar. This is the Tapta Jivanam. Tapta means Tapa. We are all afflicted with this material existence here. Tapa means we are all suffering here in this material world. We think that we are happy, but that's the so-called happiness. So Tapta Jivanam. For who are all afflicted with this material world, this Krishna's Kada is going to be the life and soul for them. So even the same thing, Gopis are expressing that the Krishna Kada is our life and soul. Tapta Jivanam. Kavibir Iditam Kalma Shapaham. So Kalmasha. Kalmasha apaha means, kalmasha means this papa, sinful reactions. So we are all carrying so much of sinful reactions since time immemorial. So by hearing this Krishna Kada, all of our sinful reactions, they will be eradicated, not at once, but slowly, slowly, slowly they will be eradicated. Kalmashapaham. Sravana Mangalam Srimad Bhagavatham. So by hearing this Sravana, by hearing this Krishna Kada, it brings all auspiciousness into our life. Sravana Mangalam Srimad Bhagavatham. So this Krishna Katha is very, very auspicious to all of us. So it brings auspiciousness in our life. Just by hearing this Krishna Katha and Krishna's holy name, we all can get rid of from this material existence, material nescience. So actually, this Krishna Katha is needed. It's actually the need of the hour in this current world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yaredeka Tareka Krishna Upadesh. Wherever you go, whoever you see, speak about Krishna. So now we are seeing right now the war is going on, right, in between Israel and Palestine, Hamas. So they are killing each other. So one group is killing other group is killing other group, right, another group. So these are all happening because there is no Krishna Kada, there is no connection of Krishna. So when this Krishna Kada is spread, it will bring peace and happiness throughout the world. It brings Loka Mangalam. Muni says in the second chapter, we come to that sloka, it brings the Loka Mangalam. So it will bring the auspiciousness to the whole world, this Krishna's name and Krishna Kada. So this Krishna Kada, so we should be very serious to hear about this Krishna Kada always. So because it brings all auspiciousness into our life. Whereas on the other hand, there is a Gramya Kada. What is Gramya Kada? Yeah, mundane talks. So Gramya Kada is mundane talk, Krishna Kada is spoken about Krishna. The opposite to Krishna Kada is mundane talk, Gramya Kada. And Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, there is a great difference between mundane stories, fiction or history, and the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The histories of the whole universe contain references to the pastimes of the incarnations of the Lord. The Ramayana, the Mahabharata, and the Puranas are histories of bygone ages, recorded in connection with the pastimes of the incarnations of the Lord, and therefore remain fresh even after repeated readings. This Gramya Kada or Gramya news, these mundane talks, like if you read today's newspaper is tomorrow's waste paper. So we just simply throw it away. And in Gramya Kada we hear, right, some people they write some biographies, some novels, some fictions. And how many days we read? Maybe 3 months, 6 months. Again people get bored. Again they write another book. Because that's a fiction. There is no connection of Krishna in those books. People get bored. Again they throw it away. And again they write another book. And that is the Gramya Kada. So Gramya Kada, by hearing or by talking about it, will get bored. Because everyone experiences this. And even when maybe two mundane people, when they meet each other, they may mostly speak about these Gramya things. Maybe some sports, politics, movies, maybe some stock market, what's happening in their job or something. And finally, they talk, and again they get bored and they might not get sleep after going to home. They might take some alcohol and they sleep. Because there is no connection of Krishna into it. So where there is a Krishna, that is transcendental. So this Gramya Kada, these mundane talks, they are like that. They never give satisfaction. Even though we speak for hours, then we never get satisfaction out of it. Even if we hear about Krishna Katha for 1 hour, we get satisfaction out of it. Because this Krishna Katha is transcendental. And Srila Prabhupada here says, so now we are talking about biographies or some fictions or novels some mundane person wrote, and maybe they might be there. Maybe if it is a super hit or something like that book, that might be there, maybe there for 2 years or 3 years, and then people simply throw it away after some time. But whereas this this Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, Ramayana, Mahabharata, or Puranas, they were written thousands of years ago. Still they are fresh. And when we read that, we get the new light of information always. Because the Krishna is there. Krishna connection is there. Even after thousands of years, people will still, they will read this Bhagavad Gita and they will still remain fresh. Because it is spoken by Krishna. Even if someone reads Bhagavatam after thousands of years, so they will still feel connection to that book, because it will not be thrown away. So because it is spoken about Krishna, Supreme Lord. So that is the difference between this Krishna Katha and Gramya Katha. So Srila Prabhupada here says, mundane news is static, whereas transcendental news is dynamic. In much as the spirit is dynamic and matter is static. So the spiritual thing is always dynamic and the matter is static. So that's why we don't derive any pleasure when we talk about this Gramya Katha, mundane things. So here then Srila Prabhupada says, those who have developed a taste for understanding the transcendental subject matter are never tired of hearing such narrations. Here Munis, they are saying, Asrunvatam Rasagnanam. So, those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationships, Srila Prabhupada translated it like Rasagnanam as a transcendental relationship. Rasa is like pleasure, juice. Even on mundane platform, when we do some service, maybe if you serve someone, you get something back. Then that means some pleasure is there at least. We'll get something back. Then that's why we do something. So in every relationship it is like that. We do some service, we get something back in exchange of that. That is, we derive some pleasure out of it. That is called Chapala Sukha. That is a flickering happiness. So that is temporary happiness. But here they are saying Shrunvatam Rasagnanam. Rasa here, this humor, Rasagnanam, who understand this transcendental relationship with the Lord, means who understand this rasa, exchange with the Lord, because Krishna is the Rasovaisaha, he is the fountainhead of all the rasas. So when we hear about this Krishna Katha, Krishna enters into our heart and he purifies us. He purifies us. So then that encourages us to hear about more and more about Krishna. So that is the difference between this material rasa and transcendental rasa with Krishna. So when we have this pleasure, exchange of relationship, the exchange of pleasure with Krishna, so it encourages us to more and more to do that service, because Krishna is really, reciprocating to us. Krishna reciprocates to us and he purifies us. So whoever knows this rasa gnanam, yat srunvatam rasa gnanam, they are saying svadu svadu pade pade. So they relish this transcendental nectar of Krishna, this Krishna Katha at every step. So okay, now we have understood what is Krishna Katha and why is it so transcendental, and how we are deriving the pleasure out of it. We understand this, but how to develop taste for it, right? So there is a practical application to it, right? So how to develop taste for this Krishna Katha? And this Krishna Kada, so it's like a Bhava Aushada. So it's a medicine for this Bhava. We are all in this, we are all afflicted with one disease. There is one common disease for all the conditioned living entities here. What is that? The common disease for all the conditioned living entities here.
Material disease.
Yeah. So Bhava Roga, material disease. So Bhava means existence. We are in this material world. This Bhava Roga is the common disease for all the conditioned living entities. And we are all in this Bhava Sagara, this material ocean. But what is the medicine? If there is a roga, if there is a disease, there has to be some medicine. That Bhava Aushada is this Krishna, holy name, and Krishna Kada. So, and how to develop taste for this? First thing is giving higher taste. I mean, when we give up these mundane talks, but we have to give some higher taste to the senses, otherwise they won't be quiet. Today we can't just say that, oh, I'll give up everything, I give up all mundane tasks, or I just sit quiet and I just do meditation. No, it doesn't work. So we have to give higher taste to the mind. And that higher taste is this Krishna Kada. Otherwise, what happens? Srama eva hi kevalam. So, what happens? Dharmasya swam anushta pumsan vishvaksena kadasayu na utpadayate yati ratim srama eva hi kevalam. If whatever bhakti, dharma, let's say dharma, savai pumsa phalo dharma, yato bhakti radokshade. Whatever dharma we do, if it is not developing or if it is not provoking any attention towards the message of Supreme Personality of Godhead, that Krishna Kada, Krishna's holy name, that is as much as like useless labor. Srama eva hi kevalam. So whatever bhakti we do, it should develop taste for Krishna. It should stop thinking about mundane things. It should help us to stop thinking about mundane things. Otherwise, it's like a srama eva hi kevalam. It is like a useless. It is useless labor. So then, how to develop this? So Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, first thing what we have to do is Mahat Sevaya. So serving devotees. So by serving devotees, we develop taste for Krishna Kada and Krishna's holy name. Serving devotees is very, very important. Srushrusho Sretadhanasya Vasudeva Kada Ruchihi Sat Mahat Sevaya Punyatirtha Niveshanat. So by serving devotees, Mahat Sevaya, we develop taste for Krishna Kada. That is the first thing. We have to serve the devotees. Whenever we get a chance, we must serve devotees. So that is the first thing. So then that will develop this Vasudeva Kada Ruchi. So that will help us to develop taste for Krishna Kada and Krishna's holy name. And the second thing is, okay, now we are talking about Krishna Kada, okay, now I'll go to home and I'll start hearing about Krishna Kada or something like that. Again, when we hear this Krishna Kada, we have to hear from Vaishnava. We should never hear from Avaishnava. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, this Hari Kadamritam, when you hear from Avaishnava, it is like Sarpa Uchistam. It is like the milk touched by serpent. So when the serpent touches the milk, it becomes poisonous. Right? So this Hari Kadamritam, it should be heard from a Vaishnava always. Then we get a question, right? Who is Vaishnava? The Vaishnavas are like who are not indulged in demigod worship. We can simply say one thing. Who are exclusive, who have exclusive devotion to Krishna or Vishnu. So we have to hear from Vaishnava that will develop taste for this Krishna Kada and Krishna's holy name. And in this purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about that the so-called liberated persons are never satisfied by the repetition of the words Aham Brahmasmi. Such artificial realization of Brahman becomes hackneyed. And so, to relish real pleasure, they turn to narrations of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are not so fortunate turn to altruism and worldly philanthropy. This means the Mayavada philosophy is mundane, whereas the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental. This Mayavada philosophy, it's mundane. So, like we know, Mayavadis, Advaitavadis, they take verses like Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, and Tattvamasi, Soham. They start chanting this. But they never get pleasure out of it. They never get, because we see so many Mayavadi sannyasis, they come into politics. Because they never get pleasure out of it. Because they equate everyone. They equate Lord Krishna or Vishnu with all the demigods. They do the great offense to the Krishna. And they say, okay, Jiva is equal to Krishna and all these things. Aham Brahmasmi. So, Srila Prabhupada says, Aham Brahmasmi means Jiva is a Brahman. Definitely we are all Brahmans in a sense. But at the same time, we are not Parabrahman. So we are not the Supreme Lords. Otherwise, Vedas would have said, Aham Param Brahmasmi. Vedas did not say that. So when they say Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Lord, so they never get pleasure out of it. So they turn into, Srila Prabhupada says, they turn into altruism. They turn into some services, like they start doing some services to the society. They build some hospitals and all those things. They start doing altruism or worldly philanthropy, because they never get pleasure out of it. That's why Srila Prabhupada says this Mayavada philosophy is mundane, because they equate Jiva with Lord. One thing, so we know, so Jiva, we are Anus, whereas Lord is Vibhu. So we are Anus means we are tiny, whereas the Lord is Vibhu, he is the great. And Lord is Bhokta, he is the enjoyer, Jiva is enjoyed, Bhukti. And Lord is Param Brahma, Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas Jiva is Brahman, just. So he is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we don't have this kind of understanding, and when we are attracted to this Mayavada philosophy, even though we do bhakti or something like that, so-called bhakti, it will never give any pleasure. Because this Mayavadi philosophy is mundane, and unless we connect to the devotees, sometimes what happens, these Advaitavadis, like these Brahmagnanis, they have to finally come to this Bhagavata philosophy, this bhakti process. Then only they get pleasure out of it. We know that Sukadeva Goswami, he was a Brahmagnani, and then after hearing about Krishna's form, and he became a great devotee, and he recited this Srimad Bhagavatam. Unless one is a Bhakta, a devotee of Krishna, they cannot understand this bhakti process. So this is the second thing. We should not hear from a Vaishnava. So we should always hear from a Vaishnava, and we should do service to the devotees whenever we get a chance. And third one is, we can do immediately, giving oral reception. Give your ear to hear about Krishna. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he did, even though he was Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was listening to Bhagavatam every day. he was listening to Dhruva Maharaj's pastimes and all those pastimes every day. So he was a walking Bhagavata, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we have to give that oral reception. We have to be ready to hear about Krishna with our senses, with our ear, and we have to have this one-pointed focus always, like Tasmad Ekena Manasa Bhagavan Satvatam Pati. We have to have this one-pointed focus towards Krishna. Then we can get definitely that pleasure. We can derive that pleasure by hearing Krishna Kada and by chanting Krishna's holy name. We have to have that one-pointed focus, Ekanta Bhakti. So we should develop that exclusive devotion to Krishna. So it happens, right? Even in the material world, if we are attracted to someone, if we are started doing service to him, so definitely that guy will start reciprocating to us, definitely in some form. But Krishna is Krishna. If you put one step towards him, he will come 1,000 steps towards us. So we have to have that exclusive devotion, ekantika bhakti to Krishna. Then definitely Krishna will give that kind of pleasure and happiness, that transcendental pleasure and bliss to us. And the last thing, and we have to build this, developing this attitude towards reading Bhagavatam and listening to Krishna stories every day. So, right, if you have kids, please read one Krishna story every day to them, like Ajamila story or Gajendra Moksha or whatever, Dhruva Maharaj story, Prahlad Maharaj story. If you start reading to kids and we purify ourselves, and also they will also get purified. So it has to start from the childhood itself. This reading and hearing about Krishna Kada. Because this is my own experience. I am not trying to boast myself, but my grandmother, when I was 5 or 6 years old, she used to tell me always Ajamila story. And she says, oh, okay, at the end of his death, he used to say Narayana, and then he went back to home, back to Godhead. So then I could understand that message, and I used to say always, like whenever I get a chance, Narayana, 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 Narayana. So this reading Krishna stories to the kids from the childhood, they'll develop that taste for them, and it's very, very important. We have to also read daily this Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and the Srila Prabhupada books. We have to read daily, and then we develop that taste. And also, when I said hearing from a Vaishnava, we have to hear from Vaishnava. So please hear whenever you get a chance, at least one lecture from Srila Prabhupada every day, maybe 20 minutes lecture. That will actually purify our mind, and that will build taste for Krishna. Krishna Kada and Krishna's holy name. So by doing all these things, we all can develop taste for Krishna Kada, and then and we can develop that bhakti, devotion to Krishna, and then we can finally go back home, back to Godhead. That's all I wanted to share. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. And if I spoke anything wrong, please forgive me. And I would like to convey my special thanks to my wife, Sri Radheslavani. She helped me to give so many points for this lecture, and she's always supporting in my devotional life. And that's all. And please let me know for any comments, questions, reflections, corrections.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me? Okay, great.
Thank you very much, Sesha Prabhu. So wonderful points you shared, and very practical. All those three last points you said. Now we'll try to implement. Of course, I'll try to implement. So thank you very much. Anyone has any questions for him, or you want to share some reflections? Please go ahead. Mataji.
Thank you so much for the wonderful class, Prabhu.
Thank you much.
There was this one point which really it was new to me, but it was a very nice point you made. You said that we come under Ladini Shakti while we are listening to the lectures like Krishna Katha. But if the Katha is long, there is a possibility that we kind of drift away. Why does that happen?
Maybe in our body here and there. In this case of they left everything and in that place and they are hearing. Yeah, because of our body.
So, just to elaborate on this point, because there are 9 stages of devotional service. We start with Shraddha, of course with faith, and then we go up to Sadhu Sangha and Bhajan Kriya. So we are still not reached that stage of Anartha Nivritti, and we have so many Anarthas. While we are listening to Krishna Katha, it's definitely Krishna himself, because in Bhagavatam, I think in verse 110 to 1 chapter 1, Prabhupada has mentioned that Srimad Bhagavatam, it's the sublime literature, and it's the Swarup Shakti, as you mentioned. It's the Swarup Shakti, but still, because we are under this conditioning of our life, and we have our false ego, which is there still with us. So definitely, as Mataji said, that the Katha is long, it takes us there. Because at that point, if we see the Parikshit Maharaj who is listening to the Katha, so Parikshit Maharaj, he was a born devotee, and we know that how he was born when he was a devotee, he saw Krishna at that point of time. So for him, and as soon as he got the news that he got this curse, so he left everything away. But if we get to know that we are going to die on the 7th day, although this is the truth because we have only 7 days in our life, but what we are going to do, we should ask ourselves this question. We are going to manage all the accounts. We will write our will. I mean, that's what I do. I'm telling about myself. So I would not have this type of conviction that, okay, like leave everything and go on the banks of Ganges. So what these people are listening, so the level is very different. What we are trying to do, as you said already, we are still on not at stage of another everything. So still we have to do that. As you said, it's a process and it will gradually happen. And thank you so much for the class. Wonderful. So very much.
Anybody else? That's it? No reflection? So that means we understood everything? Let's hear from our. Like that, any question?
I hear this kada little bit. I know before a little bit about the Krishna kada. I mean, I heard about it from the India, the story, the Purana. After, I mean, can I ask you one thing? After our life finish, our Atma, where to go? Different planet or somewhere or yeah.
Yeah. Krishna says in 8th chapter, Yam yam vapi smaran bhava tajati ante kalevaram tam tam eveti kaunteya sada tat bhava bhavita. So whatever state of mind you have at the time of death, whatever you are thinking, that you will become in your next life. So if you have so much attachment to, for example, maybe I'm just giving an example. Maybe you have so much attachment to your dog, you will become dog in your next life. If you have so MM Bob is Smaran Bhava. So it all depends upon your state of mind at the end of the death. Then based on that, your next life will be decided by Krishna.
Yeah, same thing. My friend me too told me like this same answer. She know about that. She told me that. I will just ask him right now. Thank you very much for explaining.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, if they have done so much sinful reactions, so many sinful activities, if they have done, they have killed so many sinful acts, then definitely they would go to hellish planets. If they have done some pious acts, more pious acts,
Right.
they'll go to higher planets like Swargaloka.
Right.
And if they have that, they are still having some passion and they did some pious and some sinful activities, they would still stay in this Matchaloka and this earthly planets.
Okay.
Yeah, it all depends. And if you do bhakti, if you remember Krishna at the time of your death, you go back to home, back to Godhead, Vaikuntha, Goloka.
Okay.
So it all depends upon our choice. Bhakti is our choice.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? 1, 2, 3. So we have some online devotees. Let's ask them. Thank you for joining, online devotees. Do you have any question? Please unmute yourself.
No problem. Thank you so much.
They're okay. They're satisfied.
So let's have our final event of the day. Kids recitation. Bhagavad Gita Sloka recitation. Kids, are you ready? So when they're getting ready, so big round of applause to Sesapati Prabhu once again, please. Thank you very much. Good. Who is first? Okay, come. Okay. And yes, not facing Krishna time.
Natvivaham Tunasham Natvam Nemi Janadipa Nachaiva Nabhavishya Nama Sarve Vayam Tatparam.
Very good. Good job.
Namaste Namaste Samadhi Vayu Mama Lavana Vaseva Kirma Karmaka Sanjaya.
3 more to go.
O Sanjay, at my son in a son of Pandu, is someone at the place of pilgrimage desiring the fights. What did you do? Sultan Ben was also some Bhaktavanasa Basasi, Katasumsa, Akatasumsa, Nanu Sultani Bandita, fast speaking wonders, your mind for what's in our body. Those who are wise, lavish, neither for the living nor for the dead. न तु एवं जाजुना च न तु निमित्त न देव न देवा न महिषाम सर्वे मया मातवा. Never was there a time where I did not exist, nor you, nor are these kings, nor in the future anyone cease to be. Natre bahum jatanasum natra neme javatava natraiva bhavashika sarve bhavar spartam.
Very good. Translation? Loudly, yet speak loudly.
धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेदायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव किम् अकुर्वत Sanjay. Yudhishthira said, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, being desirous to fight, what did they do? Asochanam vasojasvam pragnavadam shabhashase gatasuna gatasumscha nanu sochasti panditaha. While speaking learned words, you are howling for what is not worthy of belief. The wise are meant but not for the living, neither for the dead. Natva evam jatunasham natva neme janadipa nacheva navavishyama sarve vayata paraha. Nor was there a time where I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be.
Closer, Tarun. Close. Yes. Loud.
After my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled at the place of pilgrimage in Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Shri Bhagavan Vacha Asoshiyanam Vasoshaswam Pragnavadam Shabhashase Gatasuna Gatasumscha Nanusoshanti Pundita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Natva evam jatanasham natva neme janadivam nacheva nagavishyamaha sarva vayam ataparam. Never was there a time where I did not exist, nor you, nor all the kings, nor will there be a time in the future where we all cease to be. Dhritarashtra vacha dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveda yutsavaha mamaka pandavascheva kim akurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled at the pilgrimage in Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Sri Bhagavan Vacha Asochayanam Nusochatvam Pragyavadan Shabhasase Gatasuna Gatasunascha Nanasochanta Panditaha.
Keep it mic closer.
Easy 1.1. Dhritarashtra Vacha Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra Samveda Yutsava Mamaka Pandavascheva Kim Kurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled at the place of pilgrimage in Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? BG 2.11. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Sochayana Sochastvam Pragnavadam Shabhasase Pandita, speaking learned words. You're lamenting for something not worthy. Of grief. Those who are wise do not lament for the living nor the dead. Bhagavad Gita 2.12. Nato anevam jatuna samnatva nime janadipa nachaivam na bhavishyamaha sarvevayam mataparam. No, there was never a time where I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor will there be a time where all of us will cease to be.
Hello. Come here. Closer, keep the mic closer.
Natam neme janati, nata kevam jatunasham, natam neme janadipa, nachaivam pavishama, sarve vayam ataparam.
Any more kids?
Want to go, Keshav? Come.
It's okay, one more. Everyone said three.
Come on.
Come on, Keshav. One more.
I'll give you one extra puri today. Yes, see, he came. Hey, extra puri, whoever. Hari Bol! Big round of applause to all the kids, please. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you. So it's so wonderful. And every year, just to let you know, Prabhu, oh, yes. Yeah. He's hiding.
Natam ivam jatunasham, natam leme janatipa, nashaivana bhavishyamam, sarvavayam ataparam.
There you go. So every week, this is a wonderful scheme set up by Kirtida. So every week we increase one verse. So next week it will be 4 verses. So be ready, kids. Okay. So at the end of 108th week, you have to recite 108 slokas. So be ready. That session will be completely for recitation, no discourse. Okay. So thank you again. Good. So let's break for prasadam now, and little housekeeping things before. So please don't wash your mouth or wash your hands which is touched with the food, because the sink should be clean. Okay, it should not get clogged. So you can wipe and then you can wash. And you see there's those labels. Please try to follow that. Of course, you have been doing that. Thank you. Mahaprasade Govinde. Nama Brahmani Vaishnave. Swalpa Punyavatam Rajan. Vishwaso Naiva Jayate. Sharira Vidyajal.
Siya Gurukadadara, Sesapati Govinda,
Lovely. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Krishna Mahaprasadam ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. That was little American style. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. Hari Bol. Thank you, online devotees. Hari Bol.